So before I start the space, I would like to uh, introduce myself first. So my name is Pritesh, and I'm the founder of Humans of Tech, and this is the space of Humans of Tech only. And I'm super excited to invite you all for this beautiful space where we are going to talk about open source, technical writing, content creation, career in tech, evolution of AI and AI tools for in this tech world, job opportunities and hiring in tech, a lot of things. The people who are new to Humans of Tech, I would like to give a small introduction to what it is. So, this is the platform where you'll be able to listen, read, and watch inspiring uh, stories of people in tech to obviously to get inspired and also to understand how things work in tech in perception of the people who are already there for like a decade or more. And we'll be inviting some amazing people in this in Twitter Spaces, and who'll be sharing the interesting, who have something interesting to share about their life, their journey, their career, and which can add a lot of value to all the listeners and readers of Humans of Tech. In a nutshell, so if you are someone who is not sure that the career in tech is for you or not, or if you are someone who is lacking in that career and not able to figure out what's going wrong and stuff, or you are, if you are, let's say, a passionate reader or listener who loves to read and listen to journeys and stories of people like me to understand how they started, what were the struggles, failures, and successes they had in their life and in their career, and what it took for them to become whatever they are right now, and what are their future plans as well. We'll be putting the series of podcasts and blogs of these amazing people on our platform. The blogs will be on website. It is just a written format of the spaces that we're doing. Audio will be obviously the Twitter space for now. Later on, we'll stretch it to the Spotify podcast, and the video content will be on the YouTube. Also, we are having our newsletter. I'll request you guys to subscribe to our newsletter. You have to go to our website, that is thehumansoftech.com. Click on newsletter, and in this newsletter will help you to get latest updates on the new podcast and blogs that we write, and also the new speaker announcement that we have, and interesting collaboration that we have in future. With that, I would like to start the space for the evening. So, the speaker that we have today is someone who has inspired me a lot in different ways, and I can't even define those. I met this guy in a hackathon organized by his community called ReactPlay, which is an open source React community. And since past around 8 months, we are working together doing some amazing stuff. And I can't be more grateful to God that I was lucky enough to meet him and work with him. Because my life turned upside down after this point of time. I got a number of opportunities. I did some amazing stuff, worked on some amazing projects along with him, and organized hackathons, meetups, and whatnot. And with that, I would like to invite the speaker of the evening, Tapas Adhikari, who is the founder of React Play and also an entrepreneur now, and would like him to give a quick introduction of himself to the people.
Hey Pritesh, thanks for having me. And I like this name, Humans of Tech, a lot. This is amazing. I mean, the initiative that you have taken is amazing, and also good to see a lot of my known friend like Sadanand, Kelvin, all are there here. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? So, uh, okay, so, to introduce myself, yeah, I'm Tapas from India, and I kind of introduce myself as a full stack developer. It has its own meaning, but I feel that I kind of code and develop things end to end, of course, based on web technologies. And it's been a while that I'm in software engineering and software development, close to 2 decades. And right now, I'm more passionate about teaching. and creating content, creating meaningful content, and educate more and more people into software engineering, and so that they get better career opportunities in whatever the ways possible. So I figured out few avenues. One is of course open source, where you just don't code, you also collaborate on many things and get the whole 360-degree stuff of a developer, right, beyond coding. And then pushing my button hard on my YouTube channel right now good to get some good content out there, so that people get benefit out of it. Also the writing goes on. Having planned for a few workshops, physical and online both, in person and online workshops, will plan in October. So there are lots that coming from for the developer community. And this is you Pritesh told that I'm also an entrepreneur. So yeah, there are a few things that trying out. Something will work, something won't. We'll see that. But in the due course of this particular space, maybe we'll unfold on some of this learning that I have got, and I also would like to know from each of you who want to share. Come on the podium and want to share your journey, want to learn from you as well. So Pritesh, again, all the best for Humans of Tech. I'm sure that it's go a long way because it has its vision, and I really like the way you thought about it. So all the best for this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tapas, for the greetings. And I hope this podcast or this space will add a lot of value to all the listeners. And after on, like once I write a blog on that I guess that also will be super helpful to people. With that, I would like to ask the question: how does a day in Tapas life look like
Now,
now, right now?
yeah, nowadays it's actually a bit cool, I will say, because I don't go to any office. I sit at my home and I do things for myself. For people to know is like, I was working in a multinational for almost 16 years, and I left my job in last March. And after that, I was working in Showcase, another great startup. I would say I worked there for 4 months as a content head, and it was really amazing journey even the short period of time. And then I decided, like, whatever I want to do, it's not possible if I really focus on that fully. So I left everything, completely focusing on creating content on the education side. So my day is like, I get up, get my daughter ready for school, push myself to do some exercise for half an hour, then come have some breakfast and start playing with my Mac. I have few strategies and few things sketch out for the entire day, so I kind of try to do that as much as possible. Try to finish my day by 7:38 in the evening, so that I have some more 3 to 4 hours time to spend with family and do some stuff. Um, that's how it goes basically for me. Some days the push come because I'm always at home, right? Someday, push come from my wife and daughter both to end the day much earlier. Like, so what are you doing? You're at home. You can actually finish it by 4 or 5. So I try to do that as well as much as possible. I'm learning those. But the day is much cooler, right? I don't have to report to anyone. No one is telling me, like, what to do. I do things whatever I feel will be good for me and the developer community.
Yeah, great to hear that. I guess I was super curious to know how you plan your day and how things go in your life right now. With that, I would like to know that you as a child, how was Atapas as a kid? How if you define your childhood in like 3 4 sentences, how it would be?
Okay, so you're starting from childhood, yeah.
Childhood,
So
like you
this
are
is
in
this is
third or
this is
fourth.
what I like about your format, Pritesh, because you didn't give me any questions and any clues, so I don't know where you are stepping in. Um, okay, so my childhood probably was as normal as any other Indian kid. I
Mhm,
mean, they will be like super pampered by their parents,
mhm.
and parents will be deciding most of the things for them. And but the few things that were different, because I was grown up in a joint family. I mean, when I say Indian joint family, people are from India, they can probably imagine that time we had 39 members in one family. So it is like one house, 39 people stuck there, and there are new generation are supposed to come. So by the time I grew to the age of 8 or 9, I think we were easily 40 plus, right, in one house. So in that particular house, I mean, doing study, and everybody is businessman. So nobody is like, too much towards study and education. Everybody is towards like doing some business and running some business as part of, their inheritance. So I was also like, getting molded, like, someday probably I will take up and go towards the business and do things over there, because the naturally the talk and everything that you get to hear in your family is all about business. So only difference that it was like my mother decided that if this guy is in this house, he will be completely a spoiled brat. Let him let him go out of house. So I was put into a teacher's house, which was by nearby. So I used to go to that teacher's house morning 8 o'clock. Used to come back home around 9:30. So the only time that I could spend with my parents was that 1.5 hours. Basically before I go bed. And initially I used to feel very frustrated about it. I did that till my class 6, standard 6 or 7. I was to feel very frustrated, but today if I look back, I understand the value and the price that my parents paid to make me earn something what I'm today. Because when I we have this 10th standard, right, is a milestone in our education, Indian education. So when I crossed 10th standard, I was the most educated person in my entire family of those 40. Okay. So there was nobody who crossed that 10th standard exam, right? And maybe if I was in that environment, I wouldn't have. So that's how I feel like my childhood was a bit different. The way that my parents thought about it, especially my mother, and it just took off from there. That the kind of sacrifices that I understood when I was kind of able to understand that took me right. Yeah, this is something that they have done, so I have to kind of make it up. Right, I have to do study well. I have to be really serious. I have to be humble. I have to be a person whom people should not able to find some crazy faults. So I try to kind of make myself even not perfect, but at least try to make myself as much as good in my eyes as possible. So childhood played a big role in that.
Okay, okay, interesting. Um, so I never people never know the childhood part of any of the people who are on social media and stuff. What was the upbringing that made them whatever they are right now, and it starts from there and it
Yeah.
ends wherever we are right now. Great, because parents play very important role, if you say it or not, but they do. They know more than us that we need to agree. And yeah, great to hear from you, Tapas. And then so after 10th you chose, like after 10th or 12th you chose science, or what were your choices for your career?
Um, yeah, so being from a kind of remote village, you don't have much choice, to be very frank. And I'm talking about many years back, right? So I worked for almost what 18, 19 years. So before that, 4 years of college, and then before that, 2 years. So it's like huge, 20, 25 years. Some of you probably was not born that time, when I was in class 8, 9, 10. So you don't have much choice in a village. It's like it's all about following, like somebody have done something, and you are just following somebody's footstep, because you don't have much of information, you don't have much of internet and all this thing that time. And with all due respect to all the teachers that I had in my life, you have to really trust your teachers, like heavily, say like whatever they're saying, that's something, the Bible, right? You have to follow that. So after that, after passing what 10th and all, I think I don't know how I got into science. I really don't remember. Maybe some of my friend was going for it, and my marks was something like that, that it qualified. So I went ahead with that. And then, in fact, even the engineering was like that. It's like I was not sure like what to do, like after 12th standard, whether what exactly there after 12th standard. And in fact, for 1 year after 12th standard, I didn't do anything. Practically didn't do anything. Neither apart from any exam, not join any college or anything, because I was clueless like what needs to be done, and there was nobody in my village who could really guide me, saying that okay, if you do this, you will achieve this in your life, or if you do this, you have a chance of doing this in your life. So only thing I wanted to be in my life is teacher. That was very clear about it. Like, whatever it is, maybe I'll be teaching in the school I am actually studying. That's what my future is. It could be some of my friends uh, who spoke about this. In India, we had this joint entrance exam, for appearing in engineering and medical. So they told like there is a form that you can, go and you can submit. By the time 1 year has already passed after I crossed 12th standard, so I went and I wrote the exam. Of course, medical I didn't clear. I was very bad in biology, but I was good in mathematics and physics. So I cleared the engineering exam, and that's how I got into engineering and got computer science and engineering. Yeah, so that's how basically things started. I would say like sometime it's by push by parents, as I told in the childhood, then push by friends. That I took certain decision step and it kind of worked out. Yeah, otherwise I would have been a teacher in my school.
Okay, okay, great. So you were in a village of Kolkata, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
What was the village name?
It's a place called Ranaghat. Now it is no more a village. It's quite city kind of or town kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's a some some of the folks I know in tech tutor, they know that place, and I was really glad. Like last time when I was at my home. Right now I stay in Bangalore, India, but I visit my hometown native place at least twice in a year. So last time when I was there, there are few people from tech twitter came and met me in my home, so that was really super cool, right? Finding people near my house, and they were very active on socials, also like tech wise. It was really amazing. So it's called Ranaghat, a place in West Bengal, India.
Okay, okay. So you did your college from like after 12th, you said you got into engineering after clearing the exam, right?
Yeah,
What was the exam exactly?
it was joint entrance exam. They call JEE. I don't know what it is called today, but it used to be JEE that time.
Okay. I thought it should be AI triple E or something, no?
No, no, no. It is called joint entrance exam. It's called JEE. So
Oh, JAE.
JEE.
Okay, that time also it was JE. Right now, I guess
Yes.
it's JE only.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, great, great. So you gave JE that time and then you got into some college. What was the college?
Yeah, so my college was good. I was passed out from Jalpaiguri Engineering College. It's called JGEC. It's kind of prestigious college. It's a government college in India. Uh, but the thing was like when I joined that college, I joined as a computer science and engineering, and that was the first batch of computer science of engineering in that college. So, and it was year 2000 when I got into my first year of engineering, and really, I mean, to be very frank, it's a great college. Had a lot of established mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and all these things. But computer science, there was nobody to teach us basically, because it's the first time they are opening up, and they don't know really, who are the professors, who are the teachers that are going to come and kind of teach us. So I had my own struggle in the college for 4 years. But somehow I'm sure, like people who are from engineering background, irrespective of the country that you are from, I know engineers, right? Engineers, like how they figure out things at the end of the day. So we also did our stuff to figure out things.
Okay. So this was where was the location of this college?
It's kind of in the near the hill town in West Bengal, near Darjeeling. Is a place called Darjeeling. It's a hill station. It's near to that. It's quite far from my college home, so I used to stay there as a in hostel and in the 4 years basically.
Okay. So this was the first time you moved out of your village,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes. That was the first time I moved out of the village. Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice to hear that. And as you said, it was near hill station, so the atmosphere would be really good, if I'm not wrong, right?
Oh yes, atmosphere used to be really good, and people from my part of the world, they know, like the climate is always very adverse. It's like when there is summer, it's like extreme summer. When there is winter, like extreme winter. But when I was in that place, it's like more like what Bangalore is known for. It's like not very hot, not very cold kind of thing. in summer, and it was quite good. I mean, it was very scenic, and I like that place.
Okay, nice, nice. Uh, so as you said, there were not many resources for you to learn the computer science in your like four. It was 4 year
Mm.
program, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, 4 years. Yes, 4 years
Yeah.
of engineering. Yes.
Okay. So how are your 4 years of college? How you used to study? So as you said, you were into study, like you were, a serious kid from childhood.
Mm. Mm.
You want to study and you never bunk classes and stuff like that. So how you managed to cross this 4 year span, and what you learned in this 4 year, as it was the first batch, as you said.
So the entire college life, what it taught me is to be self-sufficient. I think that is something that I'm really proud of, though it happened in a different way. Like, if we had good teachers, experienced teacher in the computer science and engineering, and the life would have been a little bit different. I mean, the moment we came out of the college, we faced a lot of difficulties, right? But what it gave me is like to be self sufficient. It's like, if for example, if I have a computer networking chapter, and my teacher, of course, again, with all respect to our teachers, they could teach us only to an extent, and after that, it's all like, you have to figure out. And again, you know what, when we were in the just second or third year, we did enter this LAN internet in our hostel. So before that, there was no internet in the hostel, so you really don't have any other resources beyond your books, like whatever you have, or go to library and read about it, because you don't have an internet, you cannot surf, you cannot read about it. So we did, like, we took permission, we did entire LAN thing, in our hostel beings, and then we got some internet. And I still remember downloading one image itself used to be like, you can go to restroom, spend good time, come back, and then the image will be downloaded. That used to be the speed, internet speed. um, but still, there are things like computer networking, computer architecture. We had to really learn by ourselves a lot of stuff. So I'm sure, like, if all of you who are part of from college, they know, right? Either you or someone in your class will be like that smart fellow, right? That smart guy that you always go to. We call, like, maybe the topper or whatever it is. So you always bank on a few people who were really good, who can give us some insight on, how to look into things, and then take from there, try to do your own research, and then kind of learn that piece. So for a long time, I was very weak in understanding this networking piece. I'm telling about networking because that's that networking and DSA. DSA is today even the case with folks I know. But networking and DSA were two subjects. Means anytime they used to come in my nightmare, used to woke me up. I don't know, like, what to do. I'm going to fail tomorrow. So it is. I still have that panic in my mind somewhere. But when I was in fourth year, I mean the final year of my college, and I knew, like, the world outside is going to be a bit cruel because I need to get job. So that is when I was more serious about how to really grasp, this subject, like how to do networking, how to think. So I used to go to a person who was electronic engineer, I mean, who passed out, a senior as electronic engineer, and try to get, like, how this this LAN works. And the Bluetooth, I don't remember whether that time the Bluetooth has come like the way that it is today. But I used to ask him this very basic level question, like, so that understand how things works practically, and then try to come back and try to read, like, okay, what is this TCP layer, what is this UDP thing, how it can real in real life, how we can actually link to it. So that's the struggle that we very much went through in our engineering career, and try to be self-sufficient. Like, it is only you who has to stand for yourself, because you cannot blame your college, you cannot blame your teacher. You can blame them to some extent because you are paying some money. For us, it was like very minimal, like 820 rupees per year I used to pay, which is like peanuts. So paying that much money, doing too much of complaint, is something that I cannot do. So I had to be self-sufficient. I cannot complain about anybody. So if I have to get a job, I have to make myself ready to the extent that I could. That's what I did in my last year. So I'll say that all this 3 years, 4 years study I did in the last year, and understood some of those critical subjects. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So you completed the 4 years after, and after 4 years, like even in the fourth year, the major thing that runs in our mind is job. Okay,
Mm,
job
mm.
is nightmare for every final year student. You say it or not, but it is even for few people. Even the first year is like, when will I get job? It's just
Yeah.
first year, and
I think that's the case now, very much. But we didn't have that first year or second year or third year. It's just the fourth year when you got seriously. Oh, the life is now going to be a little cruel.
yeah, yeah. So, how your your hunting of job and things started after the 4 years?
Okay, so first of all, we had a campusing, and in our fourth year, and we were what, yeah, on an average per department has 40 to 60 students. We had six departments. So out of 240 students, only five people got job, only five in TCS. Rest of the folks, nobody got job in campusing. Okay, the college is great today. I hear that one person get three four jobs. I envy them. But in our case, it was like only five people out of 240 people got job, and rest of the people are like, you can imagine, it's like ants. They're just coming out of a hole. So yeah, we were coming out of the college like those ants, and trying to figure out, oh man, what to do next. So the immediate thing that I could do is to come back to home, pack your bag, come back to home. And being being from a village, when you really do engineering and kind of stuff, at least on that days, you will be hardly that one or two engineers in, like, in many kilometers and miles. So you'll have a different kind of respect, but you yourself know inside is like, okay, this respect is good, but still I'm jobless. I don't have a job. So it's like I came back home, was like figuring out like what to do, how to, because there is no way that I could connect to any company, don't know like anybody in the company as such. So no interviews also, like no interviews. So I spent around 3 to 4 months at home. And only thing that I could remember those 3 to 4 months, I used to solve a lot of puzzles. Because one of the senior told, like, once you go for this interview, they have analytical round. Even if you clear your technical round, before technical round there's analytical round. If you don't clear that, you won't even get into technical round and thing. So I had confidence on me on the technical round, but this analytical round is something I was not much aware. So I used to do a lot of those, math, reasoning, and all those things. Then some of my friends, like from different colleges, my college and the other college, who were my, I met them some way. So three of yeah, four people, we decided like, okay, nothing is going to happen here. We'll be just sitting there, and maybe there was a pull also for me. Okay, fine, education is over, time to get into the business. So I was thinking, okay, it's time to kind of get out of the house. So I came to Bangalore. So just booked the ticket. Came to Bangalore. One friend's relative used to stay in Bangalore. Just contacted him like, we're coming to Bangalore. Can you just give us some kind of shelter, like, if we can actually stay for a few days and then search for the job. He arranged a shelter in a place, and then he came here and then started our job hunting. That's how basically the job thing gets started.
So you made a decision that you don't have a job, but you'll go to the dream city. Like it is dream city now for the people in tech, but
It was dream city then also. It was
then also.
absolutely dream city then also.
Okay, okay. So you were confident enough that you will get a job, and you just came with like, you did you had a word with anyone who was already working in
No,
bank?
no,
No.
no. No, no. So four of our confidence was very sky high. I mean, the confidence that we had is like, we'll get down from train, we'll get into the Bangalore city, we'll fresh up, we'll go to an office, and we'll get the job. That was the confidence. Okay. So
Okay.
with that confidence, we came to Bangalore. That we are going to just step in the city, going to one house or going to one office. So there used to be an office called ITPL. People from Bangalore probably know that. So to go to that ITPL park. That time, that used to be the biggest park. Get inside, and then we'll secure a job.
Mm-hmm.
That was the motive. and it was like shattered into pieces in the very next day. So we we went. We were not even allowed to enter in the park by security guard. Forget about meeting anybody and giving an interview. So that's the hard reality. I mean, that's how you learn basically, and you cannot expect, because when you don't have experience, that's why I tell people, like, when you can learn from someone's experience, please learn, because that's how you accelerate your journey. But if you don't have anybody to share the experience, you have to learn hard way. It is the case for our programming language also, right? So why, as a content creator teachers, we do like this much hard work to teach some quality thing. If you don't take it from the quality pieces, then you have to learn hard way. It's same thing that we realized in life also that time.
All right. So how you got the job eventually there?
Eventually, yeah, you had to like go through some struggle. I also had to go through some struggle. I landed in Bangalore, I think around July or August time. I got job around November time. So it's like 2.5 months of struggle. I used to go to a morning. My work used to be like try to get into some of this tech park and see like whether I can drop my resume anywhere, because only thing that you used to get on web was the Yahoo groups. That time Yahoo was like pretty high, 2004 2005 I was saying. So you used to have a lot of Yahoo groups where people will be posting, hey, there is an no interview happening in HCL or Infosys or TCS or IBM, and you can go and you can actually give your interview. So by the time, even if you're getting up around morning 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, by the time you are reaching on IBM gate, you have 300 people, 400 people in the queue already, waiting to give interview and secure that one position that they're hiring for. So sometime I maybe 400, sometime I maybe 100, sometime I maybe 300. So it will be like you reach there at 8 o'clock, stand in the queue for maybe entire day. Around 4 o'clock, you get inside. You might feel like it's like movie. It's that's the reality. You get inside, and then after getting inside, you might get rejected in the first round itself. Sometime after some time, we'll realize, okay, this is how to crack the first round. Then you'll get into the technical round, and the surprising factor will be like you go till the HR round and you never know why you got rejected, right? Your HR, spoke to you very nicely, asked you like, this is the CTC that we are going to give you, when you can join and all this thing, and then, we'll get back to you. And there is no response from them at all. And you cannot go to office again and ask, right? You send a few emails and but there is no response. So
This is
things
the
used to be like that.
I just was sorry to cut you here, but this is the scenario right now. Also, even this in the space of online interviews and everything, the
Hmm.
HR people are same as whatever they were in like 20 years back. They don't respond to rejection. Like they don't give rejection mails most of the time, and you are in a dilemma that you got in or not. So yeah, you keep
Yeah,
waiting.
yeah. That's the basics, right? Even if we say like we have some programming basics, right? Every programming language has its loop, condition, and all these things, right? Maybe in their syllabus, these are the basic things, like how to kind of handle some of these things. So even today, also this exists for them. I can't help. Maybe some companies are smarter enough to tell it, on face and as soon as possible. I think that is far better, right? If you tell the candidate, right, oh, we are not able to kind of give you this job because we found these things that you have to work on. I think each of us will appreciate that company a lot than saying, hey, we'll get back to you, and you never get back to anybody, right? It doesn't make sense. So it's better to give some kind of constructive feedback to people and say that, okay, this is how you can actually accelerate in your career, and come back next time. Maybe after 6 months you can reapply, or you can apply somewhere else. Yeah, I sad to hear it's the case even today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah, sure, go ahead.
no, so you, where did you got your first job exactly after this struggle?
Yes, what I figured out is like, sometime when you really at some point of time, like, this is a time either you have to completely give up, or this is your time, like when things are going to happen. And I felt this many time in my life. Once I felt like, when this engineering thing, like either you have to give up or you have to do something, or something happened. This job time also, it was like that, for 2.5 months, 3 months, almost daily basis, weekdays, trying to give some of the other interviews. But one good thing used to be like there used to be a lot of interviews. Some of the other people are keep hiring because Bangalore was also getting set up that time. There are a lot of foreign investment that people were making. The companies like IBM, Oracle, Philips, all these people were like SAP. All these people are getting kind of establishing their firm over here. So there are plenty of interviews, but somehow it's a lack of preparation. I would say lack of preparation itself, or sometimes maybe the lack of luck that I'm not there at the right time, at the right for the right opportunity. It didn't happen for 3 or 3.5 months, and then it was the time of that particular time. Either you give up or you make it, right? Either your home is calling, come back. How much money you will spend over there, or you make it somewhere. So then it started happening is like, okay, I have to make it. And I remember in 4 days span I had 5 offers. So I had 5 offers from 5 different. I don't know like how to explain that situation. A person not having any offers for 4 months, now suddenly in 4 days having 5 offers, don't know what to do with that really. Um, so there is a company called Pero Systems. Right, then it got acquired by Dell. So I chose to join that company, Parasystem, because people are saying it's a growing company, it's good, they kind of pay you well, and all these things. So I also had offer from a few other companies, but I chose to do Parasystems, and I joined that company. I joined as an intern, and after I guess 1.5 or 2 months, they made me permanent, in that company. I was there for 2.5 years before I moved out.
All right. Okay, to hear that the same struggle is now also for few people, and we'll talk about struggles and hiring and job market and everything. But I would like to ask that the way people used to get hired, like as you said, you have 5 offers in your hand,
Hmm.
and right now also there are scenarios that people do have 5 offers in their
Hmm.
hand. People might not have 0 offers for 1 or 2 years also.
Hmm.
Okay, so what do you think, what major thing changed in hiring process, or what are the expectations of organizations from the candidate? What was there 20 years back and what is there right now?
Yeah, so I think the competition is what changed a lot right now. It's like it's huge right now. I feel the competition is. When I was looking for job, of course, it has its own competition. I was telling you, like 400 people standing in queue, but they're actually doing for one. But still it was not as crazy as it is today. It's also to come with expectation, like you were only saying, right, people from first year itself saying like how to secure a job as soon as possible. And that time, that was not the case. I mean, people were not really serious about like securing a job until they get into third or fourth year, right? So things were a bit cool, and that way. I think today's hiring process is much more smarter than the earlier days. You at least from the rounds that you go through. Why I'm saying it, because I spent a lot of years as an interviewer when I was working in Micro Focus. So I was like spent almost like 10 years, 10 to 12 years interviewing people. So I've seen this entire process to change, right? When I got started as an interviewer and when I kind of finished over there. So before, it used to be like people used to get judged not only from the technical grounds. I think more value that you used to give on someone's value. I know the value that people are coming with in an interview, the core value of that person. It could be the upbringing of it, or like how this person is from the behavioral perspective, and all these things has to, people used to give lot of value. And then of course the technical expertise had to be there, on that case. But I never found that a technical round used to be that crazy how it is, how even I had to take some of the technical rounds for folks. But gradually how it got changed is like things got pivoted towards more about the competitiveness, where the competitiveness is like, when the competitiveness comes, you cannot really judge two people on their behavioral aspects, right? For taking them in your organization, unless it is that kind of role. For a programmer kind of role, you cannot really judge them when the competition is higher. So you always have to judge them on basis of what they'll be working there, which is like technical ground. So I think that his entire focus got shifted towards the technicalities part of it, like how to evaluate people in the more technical side of it. Like, either they will be doing some programming live there in the interview session, or they'll be given certain projects which they have to kind of submit, and based on that project submission, then they will be evaluated, and then there will be a scoring mechanism, and then they will be again compared a parity check with the folks whom we have hired last month or before that, like where exactly the comparison stands in that. Do a percentile score is like, okay, this guy, the new guy, is going to fit like 70% close to the guy that we have hired, so now we'll be paying him on this scale because we have paid the guy before we hired on that particular scale. So there are a lot of stuff that got changed. The mathematics of compensation, the mathematics of putting people on a project, the mathematics of hiring people have gone, a wild change, I would say, from that perspective, which was not there before. So these are the things that I realized being an interviewer over the period of time, the change. Okay, Pritesh, I think you're mute, maybe, if you're talking.
Okay. Okay. Great to hear perception of a person. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Yes.
No?
Yes, yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you are. Can someone give a thumbs up that can hear us?
Uh,
If you're listening to us, can you hear us? I think I am audible. I can hear. Yeah, I got a thumbs up. So can hear you, Pritesh. Yeah, I get a lot of thumbs up. So people are able to hear
okay.
me. That's good. Pritesh, can you hear us?
Okay. I guess I'm lagging somewhere.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. By the way, in the meantime, Pritesh fixing it. If any
okay.
of you want to talk, can please raise your hand because I'm talking alone since long. Um, yeah, someone raised the hand. Um, okay, so there is a hand raised that I found. So Pritesh, if you are able to hear us, if you can make uh, the person as a speaker, then we can actually discuss.
Uh, so now am I audible, Tapas?
Yes, 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 yes. You are audible.
It's just better.
It's much better. Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
asking that in the meantime, if somebody has any question, because I'm talking for a long time,
Mhm.
I think there is a hand raised. So in case you want to allow people now or later, it's up to you.
Yeah, we'll do it later. I am not sure if later also, but
Okay, there's a network trouble. Look like.
to tell me the of your career, as in you came to Bangalore.
Pritesh, your voice is breaking, man. I think it's the network.
Hello.
Yeah,
Now is it fine?
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So what I wanted to ask is, I want you to break down your career timelines, as in you started like your first job was on in 2004 or something, right?
Yeah,
Right, and then after you did for 2.5 years you did a job at some place, and then you did for 16 years for another job, and then showcase, and then now you are free, right? Can you
yeah,
just
yeah.
go us through that journey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much companies that I have changed. I'm kind of very settled guy usually. So yeah, that's right. 2004 November, December, I started my first job. Was there till 2007 in Pero Systems. Then I joined a company called Novel, which was like kind of startup that time, but they had their own operating system called Netware, which was a competitor of Microsoft that time. So this novel I joined, and it was really fun working as in a product company. And there's a huge difference from a service company to a product company life. And then after a few years, this novel got acquired by another company. Then that company got acquired by another company. We started growing, like we were like maybe 70 employees in Bangalore in novel. But when I left Microfocus, it was almost open text by then. We were 16,000 employees. So that was the growth, the company had through a lot of acquisition and all. So I spent this novel slash all the companies that acquired novel for 16 years. I grew up from being an individual contributor till a senior manager in the company.
Mhm.
And then I left in this year, last March. And then I joined Showcase. I was with Showcase for a while. Before that, kind of a consulting basis and a part-time basis. I was looking into things in Showcase. But after that, I joined Showcase full-time. It was great
Mhm.
experience there as well. I spent there about 4 months, and then after that only become independent.
Understood. Cool. So let's talk about the things that people are here to listen to you to from you. That is open source, right? So you promote open source and you are an open source fan, as far as I know, right? So how open source started in your life, how it impacted your life?
Yeah, good question. So open source started when I joined Novel in 2007. At least I came to know about open source that time because Microsoft was really booming that time through their Windows and everything was like proprietary. And Novel was a company which was like completely opposite to that. It was promoting open source. It's like they had their operating system, which is like on the open source side. They used to there's something called SUSE. If you guys know open SUSE, SUSE. It's again an operating system which is like open source itself. So there is a lot of contribution from the company to the open source. So I used to hear this term open source quite often in my life, and but it never got it like what exactly it is. Also, I used to see people writing into the journals like Linux for You. Those are like very prestigious magazine, that from office people used to write, and they will be like star. They're getting their article published on Linux for You was quite awesome thing. So that's where open source really got into my mind, like what it is. But I never really contributed to any open source project for maybe 5 6 years till 2012 or 13. It was 2012 or 13 when I started using a web server called Jetty. If I'm not sure if anybody using it now, our application server we used to call that time, which had some portion of the code which is open source, and that was creating some problem in our customer scenario. And then customer raised the bug. I went to Jetty and filed an issue over there on the Git. I don't know if it was GitHub that time. Something was there, so I filed that issue. I reported the issue, and they told that they will take almost like 6 7 months to fix it. And this customer was kind of on top of us, like you replace this particular thing. Let's have Apache, let's have Tomcat, and all these things. Like, and doing that work is like again is 6 months. Like you do everything, test it, and then deliver. You don't have that much automation also. So then I decided to fix it by myself. So I fixed it. I submitted my fix. It took about 2 weeks to verify everything, take the PR in, and got the PR merged. So that was my first contribution to open source, which in turn helped my company to retain a customer, maybe. So that's how the open source contribution started. And it is like, how you feel like after somebody pay you some very high bucks and you feel like, oh, today I have earned this much money. Maybe you wrote an article and somebody paid you, felt really good about it. The satisfaction from open source is completely ulta. It's like reverse. There is like the satisfaction of contributing to something that community is looking for. Later, the fix that I have given, even Stack Overflow, that time people used to ask like, how to do a workaround for this, whether this or so. I used to go to each of those Stack Overflow question and used to put my fix. This is a peer, this is the peer, this is a go, and give some kind of comment so that they merge it fast, they merge it faster. So connecting to the community and making sure that you are doing something for community, that's a different kind of kick. That's something that I got from my first contribution. And since then it started. I used to do like small contributions here and there, wherever possible. But it was like 2019, when 19 or 20, I don't remember exactly, when I was introduced to this Hacktoberfest thing. And it was a 19, yeah. So then I figured out like, okay, there is a month that is dedicated for open source, and let's figure out like what people do in this particular month. So I figured out like this month people do a lot of good activities. Like, this 1 month dedicated to open source. There are a bunch of open source projects are there. You can actually go to them, put your contribution, and after certain contribution, there is a community which will acknowledge your contribution, give you some goodies, and all these things. So that was like quite mesmerizing, and I really love that particular thing. But what I didn't like, November there was no contribution. October was quite high, where November was like nobody talking about open source. December lesser than that. And again, people are talking about in 2020 October time, like there is Oktoberfest coming. I think that was a turning point that I felt like when I got so much benefit from open source, or I gave my organization some benefit from open source. Why people are only talking about in 1 month in a year? Why not we speak about it like throughout the year, in whatever the ways possible? So then found few open source advocate on Twitter. Eddie is one of them, who also like influence a lot, like this work. Then I started like my education in like what needs to be done to sustain a community on the open source, and then second thing is like how basically to run open source project. So very got very close to FOSS, FOSS community that time. Started participating them in their meetups and all, try to understand like what exactly it is about. And there are a lot of facts that I figured out. I mean, open source is not just about, we speak about it like it's about like the code is open for you to kind of view, modify, you put your contribution, and even for distribution. That's how we know about open source. But it is really beyond that. I mean, when like there are dark side of open source, like
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
the way that open source contributors have suffered over the years, the people that who are also suffering for not getting any kind of benefits. There are a lot of great companies are using open source projects, but really not, they're earning a lot, but they're not really paying things to this, folks. CoreJS is one of the library. You guys should go and search about CoreJS and read the story about the creator, right? So these are the things is really are really kind of put some kind of impact on me. And then I thought, okay, let me start creating something like a community around it, and see like if there is a help possible. So first help that we could do is like knowledge wise, let's create something together, let's build something together. Then bring some certain initiatives, like whatever the extent possible, so that you can give back to this community some monetary benefit for doing certain things through certain events and initiative. So that's how things started, and it's been going. I think it's going great. Pritesh, you were also part of it. You know that on some of this initiative. So it's going great so far.
Yeah. So my upcoming question was this only, but it's great you already mentioned that how everything started, right? So my question was, how was React Play born, and what was the motive behind starting this community? And I
Yeah,
guess you more or less answered the
yeah,
question how it started, and uh, how how things went and what it is right now, right?
right.
Awesome. Cool. If I ask you, then let's say there is a person who doesn't know about open source, doesn't know about anything like what are the benefits for why one should do it. Because when it comes to open source, there is like even I when I started, people think like why what am I getting
Yeah.
to do the work for free, right?
Mm,
So
mm.
that is the major thing that even I felt before I started, contributing to open source. What is your take on that?
Yeah, maybe you yourself can answer that. Like what you got in last 7 to 8 months, right? So I'll put my perspective. Yes, it is true. Like the monetary part is pretty low here. It is as low as like you cannot compare with your regular job from where you actually earn money. Things like that. But of course, money is important, but there are a few other things that are also important in our dev life. So one of the major thing is like the networking, letting to know people, or you yourself project. There is an avenue where you yourself can project yourself, right? Like, this is who you are, this is what your capability, this is what your potential is. If you are just uh, be regular as it is, people will hardly discover you, right? And even with the craze of social media all over the places, you have to shout, right? Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. I think today Twitter or X is the place where people keep shouting, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, right? So open source is one place where I think the thing starts with collaboration. That's what I see. I mean, the moment that collaboration is not there, the open source fails, right? Even with ReactPlay, I mean, after the hackathon went off for 6 7 days, I didn't even look into the Discord. I saw that the collaboration went down really really low, and again it started back somehow from yesterday. So once you collaborate, you get to know new people, you get to know what is their background, you get to know, like, what they can offer to make your life better, and all this thing again reverse from your side to them, right? So this is the best thing. So as this collaboration keep happening, you discover various different channels, and on top of that, there will be community initiatives. There will be the way that challenge yourself. For example, you have never spoken in public place, go and speak about it. That's what is there. Just go about it, and then there are hundreds of people are they're really backing you up, saying that, hey, go, and even if you really forget about things that what you're speaking, we are with you, we don't mind about it, right? Where else do you get a platform like that? Where else do you get a platform like, okay, you want to really moderate a project, you want to really maintain a project, which is like so many unknown people are contributing to. Where else do you get an opportunity like that? You go ahead and start maintaining that project, moderating that project, where so many unknown people are really committing. You look into their comment, you look into the code that they're working on, you learn from each other. And if you talk about certain opportunities, I think most of these open source projects today at least run in the community form. So the communities keep doing a lot of initiatives. I mean, hackathon could be just one of them, from where people learn a lot of things, again from the technicality perspective. They have the monetary benefits, and more than that, they get some amount of projection to outward people, right? Okay, this person can build this, or and you yourself can tell, oh, I can build it. After this hackathon gets over, you have that kind of courage, saying they are confident, saying that, oh, really, I can do this, and then you go on your own, right? Apart from that, there are various different initiatives, like open initiative that goes on, which are really really cool stuff. So it's code, collaboration, networking, and maybe sometime money through these initiatives is what you get, and it takes you to the next level, which I feel is like being in corporate. Even whatever you really can achieve, if I just take the money part out, being in the corporate, what you can achieve maybe several years, you can achieve being in a good open source project and good open source community probably within a year, in a few months, if I just take the monetary part out. So that's the advantage, Pritesh. That's what I say. How do you see it?
Yeah, so I completely agree with whatever you said, because I myself have gone through everything that you said. It could be networking, it could be collaboration, it could be the monetary benefits as well. So it's just people need to understand that it's better to go ahead and contribute with the open heart and with the mindset of learning that will eventually end up giving you a monetary benefit. It's not for sure, but what I believe is if you do something with open heart and dedication, people will for sure notice. And the impact of open source contribution on your resume is also
Yes.
nice, right? It's like people see that this person is dedicated for job, that is fine, but he is also dedicated towards whatever work he's doing, right? So I guess that is also one of the benefits that I've seen uh, of open source. And also being in a community is the best thing one can do when as a beginner or as a software developer, because you 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 never know, right, who can help you, and
Hmm.
everything, like it's an opportunity that comes, you have to take it and you have to leverage.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Agree.
Cool. uh so next let's move to another uh thing that you also promote and also you do yourself, and you are into this thing from like a good number of years now, that is technical writing. Okay, so how technical writing happened to you, and what impact did it made, and how what is the current scenario of technical writing according to you in market?
Yeah, so we keep saying, right, we have two eras, which is like pre-COVID era and is post-COVID era, right? And of course, there's a COVID era in between. So I really I was just exploring technical writing, in a sense, very randomly. I mean, I've spoken about it in various spaces in before. Like it just started randomly for me. I had things I wanted to share. Um, Found hash note. That time they were just getting started. It was very very small that time. So started sharing my knowledge over there. Somehow there are few articles in the beginning that people started liking, even they had tons of mistakes. I could find them later point of time, mistakes in the sense grammatical English wise mistake. um, but they were happy with the content. They were feeling helpful with that. So that motivated me to kind of do more. That motivated me that okay, I can actually step forward and take this as a real good hobby for me. And then I used to write once in a week, making sure that I at least one article. It become like a, what do you say? If you go for any kind of play or exercise, right? It become like that, right? You have to do it every day. So for me, it was like to do it every week. So that's how it started. But when this COVID started, I think suddenly we had a lot of time in hand. We never had to go out, and there were also depressions at home. So how do you kind of come out of it? That's when I started taking this technical writing more positively, because it was giving me a lot of positive vibe, like and then I that's the phase I took to improve it. Like, how can I improve? I got to meet various writers in my circle, used to talk to them, like learn from them, and then started improving my writing a lot. And then today also I write, but I may not be writing as much as I used to write in 2021 or 2022. 2023 I'm writing very very less, because my focus is YouTube right now. But still, what happened is like it established me as a good writer, I think, because I started getting a lot of offer since 2021. I started receiving a lot of offer from companies to write for them, and then applied for free code camp. That time got accepted. That changed a lot of things for me, because getting accepted for free code camp that time, and then writing and getting a lot of appreciation from various folks on my article on free code camp is kind of changed my life over there. So started getting a lot of offer, a lot of like paid articles. I'm even writing it today, those paid articles. So that's how it is. And for all the technical writers, I would say, like, if you want to get started, even today is not very late. You ask like how it is today. I don't find it very different than what it is. At least opportunity wise, what it was like in 2021, it remains same. I have maybe the same number of clients today that I used to write for, or maybe sometime it is more. Yeah, it is more now that I'm writing for. And people appreciate when you write with your own personalization. People offer you, like, the AI help, like if you need any AI tool to deliver things faster. I heard and I've given enough answers for other spaces like this. AI is replacing technical writers. um, for me it never happened, and I don't see that in coming future, because people still look for certain amount of personalization. Because the most of the things I write as a paid article is not just 10 commands, 10 github commands or things like that. It is that is something is replaceable from chat gpt and all. The things I write is like, how to use this product for this particular use cases, and try out that product from the beginning, setting it up, doing it completely, and then write about it, right? So that amount of personalization will be there, in my opinion. So if you want to really start your technical writing journey now and want to take it seriously, one suggestion that I'll have, standing in 2023, is like, be a good developer first, because whatever you will be writing is your developer output of your development. That's the way the technical writing is going to survive even in future, right? The writers who are getting replaced are very generic kind of technical writing that used to do. One example I gave. There are various other examples like, out there. But if it is something very much development oriented, where you have to try out a tool and then you have to write about a use case the customer will be using, that gets placed in, some of the very well known tools documentation, right? And that's where you also get a very handsome pay, because they not only pay you for your writing, they also pay you for the hours that you are spending to try out things, try out their products and all. So your compensation is quite good in that case. So it's a good field. Still, it's a very green field for you to kind of explore, but you got to be a very good developer first, explorer first, then the writer.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I was not going to ask you, like, is AI is going to replace technical
Yeah, I
writing
know,
for,
I know. That's why I answered it. I have given this.
because I know
Okay.
the answer myself that it is not. I myself, yeah. So thing I see is AI is fortunately helping a lot in technical writing. Let's say if you want to improve grammar, if you have mistaken some words and stuff, and if you want to change the tone and stuff, that it does help in some or other way. But the thing that you mentioned, the personalized touch, that people that help people to read,
Mm.
I guess that is never going to be changed by AI. And also some things, like some scenarios that you mentioned, is also not going to be there on, with the help of, like, we can't do that with the help of AI for now. I can't predict future for now, but yeah. Cool, awesome. So you mentioned about free code camp, and my upcoming question is that only, like, I was going to ask you about how free code camp happened to you, but as you already mentioned that, uh, but I'm still curious how, did you submitted an article and then you got into it, and what benefits you got? I see, like, you have done a course for free code camp as well, and now you are like a commit core part of free code camp, and you know a lot of people in there, right? So I just wanted to understand your journey with free code camp.
Yeah, so Free Code Camp. So how it happened, basically, I landed into Free Code Camp through one article, and I read that article. I really don't remember who was the author, but I liked it. And then I searched a little bit about Free Code Camp, and then I found out Quincy Larson. Read a bit about his story. It was quite inspiring. I know myself always wanted to be a teacher, and Quincy being a great teacher who made this Free Code Camp happen, it was like quite like finding a role model over there. Then I thought, okay, maybe one good way of doing this would be start writing. Maybe I'll kind of get to know like what is the standard and all these things. Then I applied for it. I actually written a thread. Is there? I can share again. So, like how to apply for Free Code Camp and become a Free Code Camp writer. So I applied for it, and then they accepted it. But after writing first two articles, I figured out like, where do I stand and what they're expecting basically. So then I started bridging that gap, because how FreeCodeCamp do is like they get your article and they review it very personalized way. There's a human review. There is no automated review even today. So they review it and then give you got a lot of solid feedback. And with those feedback, I kind of started understanding, and I took them very seriously, so that today I'm very comfortable. I know like what they're expecting, their reviewer is expecting. So the review comments I get today is pretty minimal. It may be, can we use a different title for this article, for the SEO perspective. But before it used to be like, somebody putting a scissor, everywhere, first few articles. So that way, FreeCodeCamp actually made me, uh, I think, a good content creator. Over the period of time, I wrote many things. I published two handbooks on FreeCodeCamp. uh, one course on FreeCodeCamp YouTube, and just happened very recently. The second course got published on FreeCodeCamp YouTube. So that way it's very good. Was able to meet Quincy multiple times, got his guidance, got to know that he whatever he likes, and the thing that I'm actually doing. So that way I came to know many people from Recode community. It's amazing community to be part of and to contribute to. So anybody listening to me, even if open source doesn't work for you, contribute to Free Code Camp. Actually, is you are going to contribute to many developers' life. There are many people reading things, and the best part, this is what I feel is like there is no comment section in your articles on Free Code Camp. Nobody can let you know on Free Code Camp article saying that this is great. Only thing they can do is like they can tweet about your things, or they some other way that actually they can let you know. And what actually made me really surprised is people will try to find you some way to tell you thank you. And this is what you feel so great about it. Like, okay, if there is a comment, people would say, oh, great article, that's it. But there is one individual who is trying to figure it out, like, oh, you are there in LinkedIn, or you're there in Twitter, or you are this person who wrote this one. Try to find it out and then DM you saying that how it changed their life, how it's actually made their life better, how what they learned. This is what is the biggest takeaway from platform like Free Code Camp. And I think as a developer, as a people who should give to developer community, you should give back to Free Code Camp for sure.
This is amazing, man. Like Free Code Camp is a really big thing. Like when I started like 2 years back, and at that time I guess you also started contributing to this, but my career started 2 years back. But uh, the place, the type of content they put out for free is amazing. Like I was
Yes.
blown away with the kind of content and the quality of the content and the quality of people they are who are delivering the content is like amazing.
Yeah, much better than many paid courses, if I
Exactly.
may say.
That's what I was about to point out. Yeah, awesome, cool. So, you started content creation on Twitter initially as well, right? Like, what happened before? It was a blogging, or it was writing content on Twitter. How Twitter happened to you?
um, yeah, for a long time I didn't know like the power of Twitter. So people used to, I figured out like from my blog that I can actually share my blog on Twitter. And once I started doing that, there are people who used to respond to the tweets instead of the blog comments saying that okay, this is good. Then I figured out okay, there are some people that I can actually connect to, and that's how basically it started. And the content that, see, I've been creating content on Twitter for a while now, maybe 2 years, yeah, since I joined. I'm creating content, but you won't find like I have made too many tweets. I have not even made 10,000 tweets. People have made like 100,000 tweets. I've not even made 10,000 tweets. Why? Because I'm a bit picky about the content that I share. I try to make an impact, not the likes. And the impact is basically how I judge is like, if someone says it's really they found certain kind of benefit or gets in some amount of engagement to the personal level, whom I can actually keep talking to maybe over DMs or a later point of time. I got many great friends from Twitter itself, who are with me or I am with them since then. And it is now no matter like whether I am on Twitter tomorrow or Twitter is there or not, I'm sure like those friendships are going to go on, and those are beyond today is like tech friendship. Those are like you know like we are developers. Basically we are here to kind of help each other. We are going to see each other's things. So it's gone to that level. So I that is what actually Twitter gave me. Not like that the number of followers and all these things. Okay, it's okay, but some of this relationship that whatever we have built is really mind blowing.
Yeah, I agree. Like, even I saw you on Twitter, and now we are on a space. Even React Play happened to me on a Twitter. So yeah,
Mm.
so it's amazing networking platform for sure.
Yeah.
Content creation can go up and down
Yeah.
after a lot of
Yeah,
things.
exactly. So I used to create a kind of lengthy threads. So if people go back to my tweets, earlier tweets, they will find out like there used to be a lot of lengthy threads, and it is not like that the same thread I'm posting somewhere else, and very unique threads I used to post. But slowly I figured out this platform has changed its dimension a different way. I mean, this is not the space to discuss about Twitter. Maybe some other day we can actually discuss. But I feel it's like more you put today is more you put like memes or something which is like not that high quality. It tends to get a lot more traction than those high quality content. But I may be wrong. So I try to mix them today. Like I don't put low quality stuff, but even if I put some memes or things like that, it is programming related. And then I make sure that I write one lengthy, content at least once in a week, and then few small technical contents, at least once in a day. So that's how I'm putting my time right now. Again, I told like my focus is YouTube now. So
Yeah, but I partially agree with you on the thing that you said, like the quality content is not getting reach because of AI only. I would say because people started posting some random stuff which is getting a good number of reach, and that is overcome by like it's we are not able to overcome by the quality content because quality content needs effort to read and stuff. But even the people who used to be quality on Twitter are also uh decreasing. Like the number of
yes,
people, quality people who used to read stuff are also not there now. Now people, after monetization, is like everything is become like this is a platform where we can earn money,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Put stuff.
It's all about impressions now, and that is where people want to earn impressions. Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah,
definitely it's a way to earn money. So let that tool be used in that way. I mean, it may not be a really true tech Twitter kind of tool what it used to be. Maybe LinkedIn is doing better, in that form, or Showcase is doing better in that form. Like, those are the platforms probably we go to share more about the good content, and let this platform be the way that where people can earn more money and get more traction somewhere. So use it appropriately. I say nothing to blame.
yeah, yeah. True, true. As you said, like you are more focused on YouTube now, right? But I wanted to listen from you, like what made you start your YouTube channel? Like how did you got into YouTube?
How did I got into YouTube? Yeah, it's like maybe I was a bit bored about writing articles for 2 3 years, and then wanted to try out a different platform. So I thought of YouTube will be a good thing. I had a YouTube account since long, but never really used it unless there's some videos I captured of my daughter and things like that, very personal stuff. So then I thought YouTube is a great medium for reaching people on a face-to-face value. But the problem again comes like you have to show your face to get that value, right? So, and being an extremely introvert person, showing face, talking is something that the challenge that I went through. I would say it was really a struggle. And then very recently I posted about it on Twitter and LinkedIn both. Like the struggle was to kind of show the face, and also the struggle was to know like what kind of gears, what kind of tools you really need to produce a video. But I felt like that is the medium where I can teach much better, because when you are writing, it is to a great extent the perception of the person who is reading it, right? But when you are teaching, showing your face or a face-to-face teaching, it is the control is more with you, right? To change the perception of the person who is listening to you. So there is a difference in these two. And with that I thought, okay, like I can teach things, and maybe people will get more benefit than the article through the video, and let's try that. So that's where it started, Pritesh. I started first like testing myself is like applied for one online speaking stuff, and again in the COVID time. I think it was part of Code Mentor. So they reached out to me to talk about like JavaScript asynchronous programming. I told, okay, I'll do it. Let's do it. Like, camera on. Let's do it. So that was a good challenge to take. And after that, I felt very comfortable. Like, I can actually do camera on and speaking. And the next challenge was like what camera to put on. I didn't have any camera. It's like only my Lenovo laptop camera, and my daughter is to have a 5 megapixel camera. That's the camera. So that's what I started with. So we see my initial videos, the audio visual is not that great. But I tried to focus on the content and slowly started getting some traction. Like, there are a few people who used to watch those videos, and they told me like they liked it. They like the way that I teach. They like the content, and that gave me like enough motivation to kind of correct myself, make myself better. So I have actually a React series I've created. Like everything that I know about React, it is there around 23, 24, or 28 videos, and there are more to come. So if I see the React series, the first video till the last video, you will be able to see like tremendous audio visual improvement, right? From not a good camera and things like that to what it is today. But I'll say that maybe my teaching style and delivering the content is remain same. That has not changed, right? So today I feel more confident about just sitting. If I am idle and I have an idea to create a video, I feel more confident about just get started, record it, learn a lot about editing. I can take class on editing now, right? So um, it is a probably thankless job, the editing thing. It happens in film also. I feel like in movies and all, like who are the editors, we never get to know their name. But when I edit my own videos, sitting, it's hell. Like the free code camp course editing took 9 hours for me. Straight 9 hours I sat from morning, evening, and then I delivered that course to free code camp. So it's a 1 hour 40 minutes video took 9 hours of editing work, right? So this is what, even after all this pain, when I go to the video comments and that there are people who says that they got benefit out of it and they really learned something good, that really gives a different kind of kick. Soon the channel is going to reach 10K subs. So it's a good milestone for me.
Awesome. Uh, I hope you'll reach 10K like by mid of this month. We are very close to that. And also, I've shared this thread of.
Actually
Yeah.
I am on 9.99K.
Oh, I want anyone from audience to just put one subscriber,
So not one, it is maybe little more. I need
10,
10.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope. I wish it would happen in next one, like in the next 10-15 minutes, because I also crossed my 100 followers today, right now, during this space. So again, it's an achievement for me also. 100
Super.
followers on Events of Tech. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Also, you recently shared this post on Twitter related to uh what setup you use, what camera and everything you use. I pinged that uh post of yours. I found that really helpful.
mm,
So I
mm.
shared that in the chat if anyone wants to look onto this one. You know, cool. So now we had a lot of discussion around like how your past was, and how you evolved. Uh, you know, and also we talked about open source, technical writing, and your YouTube thing and Twitter thing, and also everything. So my next question is like, since last 18 years, what do you think, which is the biggest asset that you made as an individual in tech after doing all these things? Like I hardly see a person who does all the things. So you are kind of a superhuman for me, like doing this, that, and everything else also. So what is the biggest asset you think that you made in past 18 years of your journey?
um okay, so I think it's people. For
Mhm.
me, is the biggest asset. Even when I was working in MNCs, and after I left it, I become like on my own. In both the cases, I think I value people a lot, and I believe that I mean you can earn money. I mean, if we try, we can earn money. Whether by hook and crook, we'll earn it, right? But earning someone's trust, it's really need that amount of caliber and capability in someone, right? So once you earn someone's trust and you really get into the book of them, like where they really look forward to you, they really want to learn from you, and they can really want to share things with you very freely. And when you get those vibe, it makes me feel very good as a human being. Is like, of course we have our like own tenure, right? Maybe I'm talking too much philosophical, but we have our own tenure, right? Here is like, be as a programmer, after some time we won't be programmer, after some time we won't be doing the certain things, after some time we won't be here at all, right? But whatever you do in all the phases, one thing that value you more is like, even when you are not there, where I'm not there in Micro Focus today, I work for 16 years, it matters to me what people are talking about me there today. So it will definitely matter to me when I'm not here, what people are going to talk about me, right? So this is what matters to me. That's why the human relationship matters to me a lot. That's the reason I like to talk to people. And there are a lot of time I spend in talking to people, like whatever the time I can get. So biggest achievement I would say is people, and some of the great relationships that I had. For touch wood, I don't have something which is like gone spoiled or gone very bad. I always had a, if there, of course there were situation of misunderstanding and all these things, was able to kind of sort it out, was able to kind of talk it through, and all these things happen, right? Between two friends is always happen, and you can actually do it when you trust each other, right? And that is what I think is the best thing that happened so far.
All right. And I guess uh, it's the impact that you leave
Yes.
behind, right?
Yeah.
Because uh, as per whatever work you have done, as per how you behaved with people, right? In whatever way it is, and kindness is that uh, you know makes you a different person even after. That's, I guess, that's what makes an impact as a human being on other people. All right.
Yes.
Yes. So it's not the last, but I wanted to ask you. We, like, past 1.5 hour, we talked about everything which was kind of a success to you, right? Like YouTube, around to hit 10K followers, you got free code camp opportunity, and then now you got into startup world also. We'll talk about. But I wanted to ask, what were the failures that you faced in last in your career that you think that are relevant, that will make people understand that it's there are two sides of a coin, that but people can see only one. Rest is like you have to figure out on your own. So okay, would you like to discuss any of these that can add value?
Yeah, sure. Failure is what makes you, right? And of course, the failure is also subjective, like how deep it is to you. So I had my um, own sense of failures, both in personal life and the professional life. So to share some of the professional life failure thing, it might be the thing like you are expecting to go higher in your career ladder, but you don't get it, right? And sometime you have to live with that. You have to understand like why you didn't get it, and maybe you have to kind of plan better, work better, instead of just crying on it. You have to plan like a forward looking plan, like how do you kind of get it next time. So things like that definitely happen, like when you expect something from your professional career, or you expect something from someone, it doesn't really happen that way. And if it happens, it's like a very good movie, right? But our life is not like that, right? It has a lot of these turns and twists, right? So everything that I faced as a failure, of course it was kind of bad day, bad night for a few occasions, but somehow I could come out of it. Be it like maybe for a day or two and things like that, and always try to think is like what next that I can do, what is the next thing that I can actually try for myself, and then I will give my best. And after that, if it is not happening, it is not happening. Probably I have to keep trying my best, and that is what actually keeps me going. In every failure, Pritesh, I faced, the next time the success I have tested, it is mind blowing. It is really really mind blowing, right? So for example, like, I lost my promotion like, once, right? I was really a deserving candidate. I'm just taking this example. I was really a deserving candidate. Like, I was hearing that I'll be getting this promotion and things like that, but the day, like, when they will announce, like, the promotion and all, I didn't find my name at all, right? I was like, what, 4 or 5 years experience, 4 years experience maybe, like, and wanted to be a lead UI, something like that. So I was like pretty disappointed. I mean, why exactly it happened? Like, everyone was telling like this, and this, all these things happened. But then I found an opportunity to kind of travel to US, and then work with some of the team and the customers very closely. And the appreciation that I got, and after coming back, that the team that I led, it is much much bigger than what I would have done with the promotion, right? So it just that something that probably waiting for you once you kind of do your hard work, and don't be really depressed, and have that move on kind of mindset. You will get some of the other thing, you'll get better things basically, and you have to forget, like, what didn't happen for you, learn from it, and just forget, move on. So I did that. That's how I kind of manage even today.
Yeah, great to hear that, Tapas. I guess this, if people get stuck at a point and then they just keep regretting and they ruin their life for some time, and that is again a waste of time. I We understand that it takes time for you to uh you know to come out of that situation, that why it didn't happen and stuff. But if don't move on, it is a much worse place to be at, right? As
Yeah.
you said, uh, sometimes some things are not meant for you, something better is meant for you in near future. Maybe that is the reason you didn't got that.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I guess that will add a lot of value to the blog that I will be writing. And last question for you, Tapas. I guess I've taken a good 1.5 hour of yours, but uh, as everyone, like as any other podcaster do, I want to ask you also that you give your tips, tricks, or whatever. I would like to say it as what suggestions what would you like to give, or I am not able to get the word, but yeah, what suggestions would you like to give to three category of people? First is one who is fresher, second is who has a 2 or 3 year of experience, and last is like 6+ year of experience. For each of this category, I want you to tell people that this, if you don't do this, and if you do this, then it's good for you to build career in tech and progress and be different from what other people are doing.
Okay. So for freshers, I'll say, the thing that you need in the long run is to learn some discipline, um, because you can be a rock star technically, coming out of college and having a different environment, but once you're getting into a job, and that professional life is going to be a little bit different. Even if the workplace is the coolest place on the earth, but still it is going to be a little bit different, and you will be demanding certain amount of discipline, certain amount of way of working. So that's what I'll tell to kind of all the freshers. And technical thing, yeah, as it is for all the slabs, is the same thing. If someone is like in the meat category, let's say, probably 3 years is a bit less. Maybe let me shift it a little bit. Maybe a 5 to 6 years experience, mid experience person. So I would suggest is like, in that experience, like 3, 5, 6 years experience is like something that you can find an opportunity to influence the people who are around you. It's like it's your age, it's your experience age for you to start being the influencer. By influencer, I never mean the social influencer. Okay, by influencer I mean is like what you're good at, try to influence people with that good thing, so that anybody who is like below you, like the freshers or the much more junior people, they slowly start seeing you as a role model, if not as a complete role model. The people who are at the top of you, like they start seeing you as somebody that they can slowly bank on, like this is a person that is kind of coming up with. So this is the influence, this is both circle influence that you have to do if being in that particular band. And if you're a real like a lot of experience, like 8 years 10 years experience is like, and if you are not really sharing things for the developer community, I think that's not good, right? So if you're like 8 or 10 years experience, you already have wealth of experience in working thing. So you, this is something that you should actually try it out, is like how are you going to make this developer ecosystem even better? What is your contribution that starts now, maybe over the period of next few years, how that contribution can grow? And you should be someone whom maybe slowly people will start looking up to, not only in your offices, it should be beyond that, right? So this is each of the stage. And just like for any kind of products plan, whether the the how the plan grows, it actually takes all the properties from the previous plans. It's like that, like even the with the like higher experience should have all the attributes of the fresher, and the mid one should have the attributes of the freshers, like that. So it's accumulative. So that's what I'll say is like becoming technical, being technical. If you are in good hands of or good education, or looking into right resources or right people teaching you, you will get it. But it is just not about coding, it is just not about programming. Your developer life is beyond that. If you want to really leave a mark, if you really want to excel in your career, it's beyond that. So somewhere these things that I spoke about in each of this phase, if you like look into that, I think it's going to keep that, build that differentiator for you, and not everybody will be doing it as well.
All right. I guess this is a huge value statements that you said for each of the slabs that you talked about. I'm not in any of these phase except one, but I understand what you said, and I guess those are very really valuable statements that you uh, delivered. And also, if you are someone who uh, do something which even the senior developers are not doing, then you are at a good place, I would
Yes.
say,
Yes.
and you are a smarter person than the other people who are there at the same hierarchy, right? Cool. So let's finally talk about. Let's end the talk with your entrepreneurial journey that you are going through since last few months, right? So how, and all the questions are like pointing at the same direction. Why did you started? What was the thought process beyond starting your own company? To what is the stage of that startup right now or company right now?
Okay, so I think this will be news for many that I'm starting something, or I've started something. So yeah, is I'm actually exploring a few things. Like as I'm doing things by my own, and somewhere, of course, YouTube, writing, those gigs and all are definitely play a role. But I thought, okay, let's do something sustainable, and sustainable in the sense is like where I am able to build something, and I am able to create opportunities. So, Pritesh, I'm very proud that I am paying salary to two people, and both of them are found from Twitter. So, um they're my salaried employee, and I'm very proud. And both of them are like they were just finished their college, or one of them is actually in third year, but they are doing some work with me, and I'm very proud that I'm able to kind of create that opportunity. Maybe slowly I will grow, and I'll create more opportunities. So right now, I've started the firm focusing on few services, and it is, of course, the company got registered very recently, but you won't find the website, you won't find the logo. all these things, because that's something that we have to work on. First, we are trying to get some of the services done so that we get some money so that we can invest that again on building something own and get more people recruited, pay more people. So we'll be coming up with the website and all these things maybe another 5 to 6 days. And I thought, okay, that will be the right time when I can actually go and announce. But as we're talking about it, we got started. It's been 3 weeks that we got started exactly, and we are working on a couple of projects already. So this journey is, it's like I'm a like 3 weeks old baby, right? In this, because compared, though I have having this much of experience and developing thing, but doing your own startup and doing your own thing is different beast. I'm understanding like even how to estimate a project, how to put the money for this project, what, how to do the budgeting of it. When you have you become an employer and you have an employee, like how to kind of make that happen, what kind of tools you should use. So a lot of time nowadays goes for that, as I sit in front of my Mac and probably 7 8 hours continuously about talking, trying to figure out the leads, the projects, and things like that. That's where it is actually going through. So yeah, it's going good. I'd say it's challenging.
Yeah. So just to give context to other people, it is a kind of service based agency that you are trying to create, if I'm not wrong, right?
So right now, it is kind of service based, and the services are mostly on the UX as a service, and definitely the application as a service. But my major focus is not service, to be very honest. It's like I want to work on products, and that's where we have few ideas. So, but service is a stream that we need to sustain to probably get some money in. That's the way that I'm thinking. But I'm getting a lot of mentoring from other people who are successful. They have various different perspective to it. Someone says that, okay, no, don't go for the service thing. It is like very much taking a toll on you, and focus on completely on the product. Put some money from your pocket and try to get this product stand out and all these things. We have some product ideas. Again, some people says no, you put on the services, get for good clients, get some good money in, and you invest that money to kind of get your product out. So there are different school of thoughts. I'm trying to find out somewhere like in between of that. And if everything goes well, probably our first product will be launched in another 5 months of time, 5 to 6 months of time, that we are working on it aggressively. I wanted to kind of put this one more towards product than service, but service is something that is a needed focus at this point of time.
Understood. So, so the people who are not following Tapas, he'll be hiring soon. So make sure to follow him. And I guess we'll be creating an organization on LinkedIn as well and hire from that as well, right?
Yeah. All this thing has to happen. First, I have to create a logo. That's the first thing I have to do. I don't have even time for doing that, because whatever time we have, we all are giving to make our customer happy so that they will pay us soon. So that's what we are doing, right? So maybe in few days we'll have a website, we'll have our logos, so that we'll open a LinkedIn, Twitter, and all these places, and then we'll do a bigger announcement. And of course, being a lean company like this, the hiring would be happening through some of the social channel itself, because that's how we found two great people, one from India, one from Bangladesh. They're working with me, and more projects as when we get, we're probably going to kind of expand more product related ideas that we have. We are going to expand, and we'll be hiring more people going forward.
Awesome. Good luck, Tapas, for this thing. I guess this will get bigger and bigger, and after like 5 years from now, it will run on autopilot mode, and you'll be just creating content, and rest of things will work.
Yeah,
The
hope so,
autopilot.
hope so. Yeah, definitely. And I'm probably going to share a lot of my journey of building it, once I make the public announcement. Of course, probably not really many people aware of it, because I have not posted anywhere that I've started with this, right? This
Mm.
is probably the first place where we are speaking about it publicly. So once I start putting about it publicly, I'll be sharing more about my journey, success, failure, hiring, and all these things on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And today's a good day. Today's Janmashtami. So I guess you spoke on a correct day to launch a startup to the rest of the world. Awesome.
Sure. Thank you.
Uh, cool, Tapas. Final words from you. Like, how did you like the space? Uh, what was the best thing, and uh, what is your feedback on whatever we discussed today?
I think it went good. It actually helped me to kind of refresh my memory a lot because none of the questions were like premeditated how we get in many of the spaces. So that's why I feel this space is very unique, and then keep it like that. Don't worry about like how many people are joining the space because the spaces are usually going very low on Twitter nowadays. So don't worry about it because your aim is to make this one to the next level, right? Through your platform, through your YouTube, through your whatever ways, that Spotify and things like that. So use this space as a kind of recording platform, I would say. And then if there are people joining and listening live, that's great. Actually, that's great for everyone. So keep this format. I really love this, and I like every bit of it. Probably you should. I won't feel thirsty. And other than that, everything is great, Pritesh. Great job, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for your feedbacks, and thanks to all the people who are with us till the end.
Yes.
Uh, right. So if you have any questions, you can directly DM to Tapas. We don't have much time to discuss about the questions and stuff. He's generous enough to answer the relevant questions in his DM. So you can just drop him hi and start a conversation. With that, I would like to end the space for uh, today. This was the episode one of Humans of Tech with Tapas, from software engineer to entrepreneur.